funny. I bump into you at the Conor McGregor fight. You're with Walt, your brother Brady, and you're like, Obi. I'm like, holy fuck, it's Matty Tkachuk. What's up? I'm like, what's up, Matty? You're like, what the fuck did you say? So I went on NHL Sirius XM with my boy Cools, and I didn't say like Matty Tkachuk wants a fucking trade. I said he would be a great fit for St. Louis. And I woke up, and you talk about the passionate fans in Edmonton. Well, your fans in Calgary, buddy. I thought I was playing in Vancouver again. I turned one over in the third to cost us the game because it was just a shitstorm of, O'Brien, you fucking drunk, you fat fuck, you don't know anything. I'm like, oh.
Like,
so
what
was your Twitter going off a bit too, or what happened? Yeah, is there any girls in here?
Is there any girls in this mix here just chirping me or what? She's cute.
Was your Twitter going?
Boys, I get like texts from the PR guys, the managers, fucking players. This is like June 4th. Like, I just golf. Like, it's 2 weeks after the season. Like,
sorry, bro.
Let me go have a couple margs in golf. Like, boys, I don't need this right now. Like, this is. And then I looked to see what happened, and it was harmless. Like, you know how Twitter is. It's you could take any quotes from anybody, and social media is too much for me these days, guys. But that's just a perfect example. And I obviously knew kind of what you were going at, but yeah, Brady and I were a little liquored up in Vegas. Otherwise, we wouldn't have said too much to you about it. But we had to. It was perfect. That was funny.
Buddy, no, hey,
my dad loved it.
I bet,
Matty, you handled it, buddy. You handled it like a pro. Because then, honestly, man, I didn't know you then, right? Like, and I was like, I kind of felt bad. I was like, fuck, I love this kid's game. Like, I don't, like, exactly. It's June. You're playing golf. I don't need this kid having to answer fucking questions about, like, I just thought as an ex-guy that's doing media, I love the St. Louis Blues. I love Ryan O'Reilly. Fucking Matty Tkachuk would be a great fit. That's all I said, and it just went fucking everywhere in Canada and Cowtown. So, thank you. You handled it amazing, buddy, the way you came up to me, because I did feel like a little bad about it, fella.
No worries. That was trust me when I say this, there's been a lot worse on social media throughout my career. I don't know if I really looked at it as one of those things that I had to do it. Like, I wanted to do it. Like, I mean, I don't fight guys because I feel like I have to. Like, I'd want to. So I do remember, though, like, I wasn't worried about that game. We had the Blues to take care of first. I'm dead serious when I say this. Like, probably in the back of my head, I was thinking about that game, but playing the Blues first, we fly out back-to-back, like I said, to Edmonton. I remember that next day, for some reason, before my nap, I was like, I want to do this. Fuck it. And YouTubed or hockey fights, whatever, some of Cassian's fights. And I'm like, he fought Brow. I played with Brow. I've seen him fight a couple times. Let's take a look at this one. Poor Brow, he just got fed with a couple lefts. I just remember shutting the laptop.
Yeah.
Like, all right, boys, we're fucked.
Yeah, I know. No, Matty. The hockey fight thing's a dangerous thing. I did too. When I was young in the league, I'm like, oh my god, that guy he pumped that guy, fought that guy pumped me. So,
but I've seen Brow fight when I played with him for 2 years. Like, honest to God, one of my favorite teammates, and he had a couple good ones. He's a tough guy, and I was like, yeah. Oh boy.
No, I give you and Matty, I love that you're like, I want to do it, because that's, if you don't want to do it, I told guys that tried to fight, I'm like, listen, you don't have it in you, buddy, then don't do it. But you want to have it in you. But still, Cassian, man, like, he's a fucking tough guy. And I remember when you went out there and you fucking dropped your stuff, I was like, I was already a fan of you, but when you did that, like Updog said, as an ex-player and a veteran guy, I was like, I mean, there's nothing you can say to this guy now. Nobody on Edmonton can chirp you because you went out and fought the toughest guy on their team.
Yeah, no, and it was honestly, looking at big picture, it was just kind of the start of bringing the rivalry back, like you guys said. And I wouldn't change one thing that's happened in my career so far, and I wouldn't, do it any differently. So I'm happy that was one of the ways to bring that rivalry back. And I love playing in Edmonton. Like, even in preseason, they hate me. Yeah. It's awesome, and they're really fun games, but. Those two in particular, the goalie fight game was awesome. It was, even though we'd lost it, everyone's going to remember that one forever too. So, good times, boys. Good times.
Hey, you made my whatever Tuesday, Wednesday night in Newport Beach. I was firing up some chicken. You made my night, Matty. So I appreciate.
Sharkies watching.
I appreciate it.
It's crazy because going through the draft in 2016, it was either between Edmonton and Calgary. Like, I remember vividly seeing my name on the back of an Oilers jersey with the 16. My mom and I both looked at Daryl Cates. He gave us like the head nod, like they were drafting us. And then Puljujarvi or Dubois went third, and it kind of threw a wrench into things. And I think they just panic picked and took Puljujarvi, who was the best player available at that time, had a great year and deserved to go there. But so it's kind of crazy going through that process. I know before the draft, I flew to Edmonton. I flew to Calgary. I had no idea what the Battle of Alberta was, to be honest. I think they were the two teams that I never grew up watching, just because they were late games. And I remember watching Vancouver a bit because of Sedins and stuff, but they played the Blues a few times. Swept my dad when he was at the end of his career. So I watched them a bit, but knew nothing about those two teams. And it was just funny that they were I was going to one of them, end up in Calgary, and I couldn't be happier. So the fact that the battle's back is awesome.
I want to jump into Olympics because it's a huge year.
Yeah, we just talked about it.
And fired up. I mean, this is finally exciting. You watched your old man probably play in the Olympics. You've never had a chance to. For younger guys out there, it's, it could be a dream come true to wear your jersey. We looked up and down, Team America's lineup. It's stacked. You got to be excited for a year with Olympics around the corner and that you guys are getting the chance to go. They haven't mentioned any names as far as the U.S. bringing 3 guys yet, but can you share some of that excitement knowing that you guys are headed over there?
Well, I think that it's definitely in the back of my mind, and I'm sure a lot of other players' minds, to have a chance to compete for a spot on that team. But I think at the end of the day that we want to win. I want to win in Calgary right now. And if you play well and you win some games and you produce and do everything, you're going to have a chance to compete for Team USA. But I think that the opportunity for myself to play in an Olympics where I got to see my dad play in person once and clips of 4 times, it'd be pretty surreal. And if I had the chance to do it with my brother, play on the same team as him, potentially, a couple shifts with him or whatever, I don't even know where that would rank at the end of my life when it comes to, proudest moments. So it's definitely an honor to be in a conversation for a spot right now. And just got to work my ass off because that's ever since watching Miracle at a young age and watching my dad in Torino in 06, it would be, it would honestly be one of the proudest moments of my life. And there's really nothing like wearing the USA jersey. I played World Juniors and under 17, under 18, even though they're way less, impactful than the Olympics. It's still very, very, I'm very proud to wear that USA jersey every chance I can get. So if I can get a chance at this, it'd be unbelievable. You
grew up in such a hockey town. Almost every fucking guy that plays in St. Louis either married a girl from there or lives back there still. It's that fishbowl mentality. Everyone loves hockey. Everyone loves sports. The Cardinals have been fucking on fire. But you grew up as a little kid in the rink, hanging out with your old man, watching him have beers after wins with his buddies. Yeah. Is there anyone you looked up to? I mean, you had Prongs, you had McGinnis, you had Brett Hall on your teams. You had all-star, legendary Hall of Fame teams in St. Louis. So you got to look up to these guys. What did that mean to you as a kid and to your brother Brady and just when you see older guys on your team now, like Troy Brouwer and I'm just bringing up Brow. I play with him too, but I love when these guys bring their kids into the room. And just what did that do to you as a young kid growing up, and how did it evolve you as a person and a player?
Well, to answer your last part first, when I came in as an 18-year-old, nothing was new to me. And I think that's one of the main reasons why I was able to come in very seamlessly. I'm not even talking on the ice. On the ice, that stuff's going to take care of itself. But it's more, as an 18-year-old, what do you do for, team parties or on the plane, or how do you treat the trainers? I knew all that before anybody else did. I think that was probably the thing that helped me the most. And going back to who I looked up to, when I played in Arizona, he's the captain, he's the man. He was only there for the first 3 years of my life, but him keeping in touch with all the guys since then. For example, we saw Rick Tocchet when we were in Vegas for that fight and hung out with him one day. JR is one of his closest buddies who is an absolute riot and is one of my favorite guys. And then going back to St. Louis, Doug Waite, for example, we were in St. Louis with him not too long ago. What an absolute legend he is. And Al McInnes, you mentioned as well. He's one of my favorite of my dad's teammates. And that's not even getting into who lived at my house. David Backus, Philip McRae, Lee Stempniak were all guys that lived with us for at least Stemper's a beauty. Yeah, and honestly, my brother and I like those guys more than my dad. Our dad was just a dad. He wasn't a he was a guy just going out there snapping a few draws back, would maybe get a peeper goal every once in a while. But Lee and David Backus were the new studs coming in with Oshie and Berglund and Perry and all these guys. So, honestly, I think that off the ice it helped us way more than on the ice. But having a guy who scored 500 goals and played over 1,000 games doesn't help or doesn't hurt to have in your corner when it comes to the on ice stuff.
How is Big Earn?
Yeah, how's our boy Big Earn? Do you see a Big Earn around the rink now with COVID calming down and stuff? Because I love that fucking beauty.
He's hysterical. He wasn't around last year with everything, but he's been around again this year. And ever since I've been there, he's been in the player development and there around the rink a ton. He funniest thing that's probably happened to me in my career is what Big Earn did. You know how after practice you have like the lunch spread, you got the meats, you got the cheeses, all that stuff, the salads. Well, we're flying to Anaheim. Let's call it a Monday. We were at the rink practicing. We fly there Monday, play them Tuesday, day off, and then maybe rookie dinner on Wednesday. Well, I'm getting in the cab we're going to Big Dean's in Santa Monica, and I'm going to pay the cab driver, whatever it is, for the ride. I go into my wallet, and in between two ones, there's a huge piece of roast beef that he just threw right in my wallet. And he threw it there on Saturday, the day before our home game. And it's been sitting in my wallet. And he's so greasy that he put it in between the two ones, knowing I would never like spend two $1 bills. American, the bill was like, whatever. And I needed to use it. And Monty's in the cab with me. He couldn't stop laughing for the rest of the night. And he goes, "Oh, I know exactly who it was." Texted Big Earn, and Big Earn just gives a crying emoji, face or whatever. And it was all time. But he did that stuff to Monty his first few years, and he's even though he's not part of the in the locker room every day, he's still got those jokes that he pulls. He's awesome.
Yeah, Big Earn, he was one of my favorites. I got him down in San Diego. I played against him my whole career, but then we were both near the end of our career down in San Diego. And having him down there, Matty, made it way more enjoyable for me. And in Calgary, me and him were both fucking not playing very much, so I could lean on him. But I mean, he's for funny guys at the rink. Like some guys probably hated the Big Earn, but
he's all over him all the time.
But for just pure entertainment and making the boys laugh if things aren't going well, there was not many better.
Monty and Stage told me a good one with him that he scored from the red line one game and then tried it for like the next 40 games.
Oh yeah. Every time, and I would only get on the ice with the fourth line. And every time Big Earn got the puck after he scored from the red line, rip it in again. I'm like, fella, fuck, like soft chip it so we can play in the fucking offensive zone here first.
Yeah, how do you like to be his centerman?
Yeah, my first card table that year, they needed another guy. I think the guy who was there before. It might have been Big Earn or a couple of guys before. It might have been him or a guy who filled in from that year before me, but it was myself, Troy Brower, Matt Stajan, who's another legend.
I love Stage.
And Sam Bennett, who's one of my best buddies. So it was awesome. We were at that table for 2 years, and then Stage and Brower gone, but. I've had a great table every year since. So honestly, it's the best. It's one of the best parts of the NHL. Yeah. Flight rides, playing some music.
Matty, listen, my short cup of coffee in Cowtown was not a highlight of my career. I had that fucking French idiot Hartley, but I had my card table was Big Earn.
Heard some stories about him.
Yeah, Big Earn, Stage, and I believe Yuri Hudler on our side. So we had a good little card table, and Big Earn would lose a hand and smash the fucking roof of the plane. So, but Stage is one of my favorite teammates too.
Stage got me with one of my favorite pranks, which I still try to get guys on. Is he, the chocolate almond that you throw on the plane?
Oh yeah.
He put one right under my seat, and I don't know if I was wearing my suit or if I threw on sweatpants or maybe shorts. 4-hour flight from coming home from maybe Carolina or Florida. And of course, like it's smeared all over my pants. And he just, right when I got up after the flight, he yells, "Right down to the almond." It was friggin' hysterical. He was great.
You gotta ask Monty about Big Earn throwing fucking fruit at him and smeared fruit on Monty's dress shirt his rookie year. Poor Monty.
That's ruthless.
Monty would tell me he would throw blueberries right in front of Monty and just smash it. Right, and he would go right all over. He would just
smash him right in front of Monty. Monty's like, oh, it's hilarious.
And he'd punch the windows. And
what's it like to go to Vegas with your brother, who's a stud too now, and your old man? Like who's leading the charge walking through the hotels there?
Well, it was my dad, my brother, and my uncle, my dad's brother. We kind of treated it as my dad's Father's Day / 50th. Like he's turning 50 one of these years. I think it's this coming year. So we treated him for his little 50th. So bring a +1. He brought his brother and me and my brother. So it was perfect. 4 of us. Noah Hannafin came, brought some buddies, brought his dad. It was just a great crew. And so since it was his treat, we planned most of it. But he still got that swagger. Like he walked back in there when he was playing for the Coyotes back in the day with Talk and JR and those. Like he's still got a few hookups. So we land. Gosh, I'm trying to think of the quick itinerary without boring you guys. I mean, we flew out from Boston on a Friday morning at 8 a.m., which is 5 a.m. in Vegas. The TOs were flowing on that flight. So we land, we go wait to a quick in and out at a pool. Just, it was 100 degrees. Got to get it some sun. Hit the craps table for a bit, for a little bit. And then went to dinner. And honestly, the night wasn't too crazy because we want to save for Saturday and hit the sports book for a bit. But to answer your question, I think my dad's still got the swagger walking around there. It's not my and Brady's show yet. I think they're still the same sheriff in town when we go there. So
that's awesome.
we had a blast.
My boy Brad Richardson, Trevor Lewis you got, but I was talking with Richie. Me and him grew up training together. I think those pickups for a guy like you, Matty, is huge. You obviously must like Richie in the room, but it must be nice to have a couple Stanley Cup winning veteran guys to lean on.
Absolutely, and they know what it's like playing for Daryl and the way he likes to play and how to have success playing for him. And like you said, just being on winning teams. And we have Blake Coleman, again, as somebody who's won back-to-back years. And we've got a lot of guys that have won before, whether it's 10 years ago or recently. So it's nice to have as many Stanley Cup champions as you can. It doesn't hurt at all. A lot of veteran guys, a lot of big personalities, which I really like as a personality too. Like I love having guys to shoot the shit with and that are, lively and like to have some fun and are great guys there. So we've had a great team right now on the ice, off the ice. We've had a lot of fun and lots of big personalities, which excites me for the rest of this year.
Yeah, Richie said the same thing. I checked in with him last week. I said, how are the groins doing, buddy? Are they barking or what? He said, yeah, I had to take a maintenance day. And then he said the same thing you said, Matt. He said, great fucking guys here, good personality and fun to be in the dressing room. So for me and Uppy, as you know, as ex-guys, I'm a big believer in that. Like you can have, everybody has talent in the NHL, but if you can have a dressing room where guys truly get along and enjoy it like you guys did in St. Louis, it makes a huge difference. Huge. And just even something like this, today we've got a day off or a practice day in Winnipeg, and pretty much every single person on the team went together for lunch after. And so it's just little stuff like that that's been a blast to be a part of, even though it's been so short so far, but it just excites me for the year. Matty, we appreciate you taking time during camp to come on here, buddy. We're big fans of you here at Missin Curfew. Me and Updog are pulling for you and your boys in Calgary. And you wanted to say something about our boy Broadway, Jimmy Scoops.
Yeah, I just think that I would say there's probably 2 stories that stick out to me about him that show how much we looked up to him first. I remember him playing in it would have been before the Final Four, so like the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 or whatever it was in college hockey. And they were playing in St. Louis against Colorado College, where Jaden Schwartz was playing at the time. And I think, if I can remember, I think Colorado College might have won, but I remember being so excited for Jimmy and Kevin both to come and play for BC. And meanwhile, my dad scored 500 goals at this point and has been, an unbelievable player. But we looked up to Kevin and Jimmy, and I just remember being so excited and being able to see them the day before, going to their practices, being around Big Kev and the rest of their family. And those are very, very, very exciting times as a youth hockey player, and looking up and going to Boston and seeing them play, seeing Kevin play at Nobles and just following them throughout their career. And, kind of throughout them getting drafted and everything, the amount of support that we had for them and how much we looked up to them was way more than he's ever going to know. And, it's just they're very important to me and my brother as hockey players and obviously as people. But, and then another one of my favorite stories is how much he kind of just like cared about, the people that grew up with him in Boston, cared about me. And, I was playing at the US team and I was in the under 17s, and you guys know how it is. You fly in late, you get there, you kind of scramble for dinner if you get in too late. And I remember they were playing Detroit on, call it a Friday night, and Thursday they land very late. And him and Frosty, last second, they should be going to bed soon. They should be, getting ready for the next night, fire me a text and want to meet me for dinner. And this is late. Like, I already had dinner, and they wanted to drive all the way from downtown Detroit to Ann Arbor just to see me and hang out and have a quick dinner. And it was very quick, but the fact that they wanted to do that, and the fact that they were willing to give up the rest of their night, where I know how it is and how nights out in the NHL, can be. And for them to give that up and to come hang out with me as a 16-year-old playing for the U.S. team was, probably one of the last real times that I got to hang out and have a long night with Jimmy and obviously Frost, and, very, very important to me, and something that I could have easily forgotten, but I'm never going to forget that, just how even at the time I was like, that's the nicest thing, people could do. So, obviously miss him dearly, and, very important part to a lot of guys' lives.